Welcome to our exploration of conditioning in human behavior. Conditioning is a fundamental concept in psychology, shaping how we learn, adapt, and respond to our environment. Whether we realize it or not, conditioning influences our habits, preferences, and even our fears. In this video, we'll break down the core principles of conditioning, examine real-life examples, and uncover how these principles impact our daily lives. Let's begin by understanding what conditioning actually means and why it's so essential to human behavior. Conditioning refers to the process by which humans and animals learn associations between events and behavioral responses. It's a way our brains adapt to the world, helping us predict outcomes and adjust our actions accordingly. There are two main types, classical conditioning and operant conditioning. Both play crucial roles in shaping our behaviors, from the simplest habits to complex emotional reactions. Let's dive deeper into each type, starting with classical conditioning. Classical conditioning is a learning process first described by Ivan Pavlov. It involves pairing a neutral stimulus with a stimulus that naturally produces a response. Over time, the neutral stimulus alone can trigger the same response. For example, if you hear a bell every time you eat, eventually the bell alone might make you feel hungry. This process explains many automatic reactions we have in daily life, such as feeling anxious at the sound of a dentist's drill. Ivan Pavlov's experiments with dogs are classic examples of classical conditioning. He rang a bell before feeding dogs, and after several repetitions, the dogs began to salivate just at the sound of the bell. The bell, initially meaningless, became associated with food. This experiment demonstrated how associations are formed and how powerful conditioning can be in shaping behavior, not just in animals but in humans as well. Understand conditioning. It's important to know the terms stimulus and response. A stimulus is anything that triggers a reaction, while a response is the behavior that follows. In Pavlov's experiment, the bell was the stimulus and the dog's salivation was the response. These basic building blocks help us analyze how conditioning works in various situations, from learning to ride a bike to developing a taste for certain foods. Classical conditioning, we distinguish between unconditioned and conditioned stimuli and responses. An unconditioned stimulus naturally triggers a response, like food causing salivation. A conditioned stimulus, on the other hand, is learned, like the bell in Pavlov's experiment. The response to the conditioned stimulus is also learned. This distinction helps us understand how new behaviors are acquired and why some reactions seem automatic. Classical conditioning isn't just for lab experiments, it happens all around us. For instance, if you always listen to a certain song when you're happy, hearing that song later might make you feel happy again. Or if you had a bad experience at a dentist, the smell of a dental office might make you anxious. These everyday examples show how our environment and experiences shape our emotional and physical responses. Now let's shift to operant conditioning, another major principle in human behavior. Unlike classical conditioning, which focuses on associations between stimuli, operant conditioning is about learning from the consequences of our actions. This type of conditioning explains how rewards and punishments shape our choices, habits, and even our personalities. Let's see how this works in practice. E.F. Skinner, a renowned psychologist, expanded our understanding of operant conditioning. He used devices called Skinner boxes to study how animals learn to press levers for food rewards. Skinner's work showed that behaviors followed by positive outcomes are more likely to be repeated, while those followed by negative outcomes are less likely. His research laid the foundation for modern behavior modification techniques. Reinforcement is a key concept in operant conditioning. It refers to any consequence that increases the likelihood of a behavior being repeated. There are two types: positive reinforcement, where something pleasant is added, and negative reinforcement, where something unpleasant is removed. Both encourage the behavior to happen again, but in different ways. Understanding reinforcement helps explain why we repeat certain actions, from studying for exams to exercising regularly. Punishment is the opposite of reinforcement. It's any consequence that decreases the likelihood of a behavior being repeated. Like reinforcement, punishment can be positive, adding something unpleasant, or negative, removing something pleasant. While punishment can stop unwanted behaviors, it's often less effective than reinforcement for long-term change. Understanding the balance between reinforcement and punishment is crucial for shaping behavior effectively. Not all reinforcement is given every time a behavior occurs. Schedules of reinforcement describe how often rewards are delivered. For example, some behaviors are reinforced every time, while others are only reinforced occasionally. These schedules can greatly influence how quickly a behavior is learned and how long it lasts. Variable schedules, where rewards are unpredictable, often create the strongest habits. Think of gambling or checking your phone for messages. Shaping is a technique used in operant conditioning to teach complex behaviors. It involves reinforcing small steps that lead toward a desired behavior. For example, teaching a child to tie their shoes might start with rewarding them for picking up the laces, then for making the first knot, and so on. Shaping is widely used in education, therapy, and even animal training to build new skills gradually. Extinction occurs when a conditioned behavior gradually disappears because it's no longer reinforced. For example, if a child stops receiving praise for cleaning their room, they may eventually stop doing it. Extinction is an important concept because it shows that behaviors can be unlearned, not just learned. This principle is used in therapy to help people overcome unwanted habits or fears. Sometimes a behavior that has been extinguished can suddenly reappear. This is called spontaneous recovery. For instance, someone who has overcome a fear of dogs might suddenly feel anxious around a dog after months of no fear. Spontaneous recovery shows that learned associations can be dormant rather than completely erased, highlighting the complexity of human behavior and memory. Generalization occurs when a conditioned response is triggered by stimuli similar to the original one. For example, a child bitten by a dog may fear all dogs, not just the one that bit them. Discrimination, on the other hand, is learning to respond only to specific stimuli. These processes help us adapt to our environment, but can also lead to overgeneralized fears or preferences. Conditioning plays a huge role in childhood development. Children learn behaviors, language, and social norms through both classical and operant conditioning. Parents and teachers use praise, rewards, and consequences to guide children's actions. These early experiences lay the foundation for future habits, attitudes, and emotional responses, shaping who we become as adults. In educational settings, conditioning is used to encourage learning and good behavior. Teachers use positive reinforcement like praise or rewards to motivate students. Negative behaviors may be discouraged through consequences or loss of privileges. Understanding conditioning helps educators create effective learning environments and address challenges like classroom management. Conditioning isn't limited to childhood or school, it's also present in the workplace. Employers use rewards like bonuses, promotions, or recognition to reinforce desirable behaviors. On the flip side, negative feedback or lack of rewards can decrease unwanted actions. Understanding these principles can help managers motivate teams and create positive work environments. Any of our daily habits are the result of conditioning. From brushing our teeth to checking our phones, repeated behaviors become automatic when they're consistently reinforced. Breaking bad habits often requires changing the reinforcement patterns, while building new habits involves introducing positive rewards. Understanding this process can help us make lasting changes in our lives. Emotional responses are often shaped by conditioning. For example, a song that played during a happy moment can trigger joy when heard again. Similarly, traumatic experiences can condition fear or anxiety responses. Therapists use conditioning principles to help people manage emotions, overcome phobias, and build resilience. Advertisers use conditioning to influence consumer behavior. By pairing products with positive images, music, or celebrities, they create associations that make us more likely to buy. Over time, seeing a brand logo might trigger feelings of excitement or trust, even if we're not consciously aware of it. This demonstrates the power of conditioning in shaping our preferences and decisions. Our social behaviors are also influenced by conditioning. Approval from peers, social rewards, and even online likes reinforce certain actions. Negative feedback or exclusion can discourage behaviors. Social conditioning shapes everything from our manners to our sense of belonging, highlighting the role of environment in human development. Health-related behaviors such as exercise or diet are often shaped by conditioning. Positive reinforcement, like feeling energized after a workout, encourages us to repeat healthy actions. Conversely, negative experiences can discourage good habits. Understanding these patterns can help us adopt healthier lifestyles and stick to our goals. Relationships are shaped by conditioning too. Positive interactions like kindness and support reinforce closeness, while negative experiences can create distance. Over time, patterns of behavior become established, influencing how we communicate and connect with others. Recognizing these patterns can help us build stronger, healthier relationships. Motivation is closely tied to conditioning. When our actions are consistently rewarded, we feel motivated to continue. If efforts go unnoticed or are punished, motivation can decrease. This principle is used in goal setting, coaching, and self-improvement strategies to help people stay on track and achieve their objectives. Addictive behaviors are often maintained by powerful reinforcement. Substances or activities that provide immediate pleasure are strongly reinforced, making them hard to quit. Breaking the cycle of addiction involves changing the reinforcement patterns and introducing healthier alternatives. Understanding conditioning is key to effective addiction treatment. Therapists use conditioning principles to help clients change behaviors and manage emotions. Techniques like exposure therapy, systematic desensitization, and behavior modification are based on conditioning. By gradually exposing clients to feared situations or reinforcing positive behaviors, therapists help people overcome challenges and improve their well-being. Technology leverages conditioning to keep us engaged. Social media platforms use notifications, likes, and rewards to reinforce frequent use. These digital reinforcements can create habits both positive and negative, influencing how we spend our time and interact with the world. Cultural norms and traditions are often maintained through conditioning. Behaviors that align with cultural values are reinforced, while those that don't may be discouraged. This process helps preserve traditions and social order, but can also make it challenging to change outdated or harmful practices. Self-control relies on conditioning. By learning to delay gratification and reward ourselves for positive choices, we strengthen self-discipline. Over time, these behaviors become automatic, helping us resist temptations and achieve long-term goals. Conditioning techniques are used to support individuals with learning disabilities. By breaking tasks into small steps and reinforcing progress, educators help students build skills and confidence. This approach makes learning more accessible and effective for everyone. Animal trainers use conditioning to teach pets and working animals new behaviors. Positive reinforcement, like treats or praise, encourages animals to repeat desired actions. This method is humane and effective, demonstrating the universal power of conditioning across species. Safety behaviors are often learned through conditioning. For example, children learn to look both ways before crossing the street because of repeated reminders and reinforcement. These conditioned habits protect us from harm and promote well-being. Athletes use conditioning to develop skills and routines. Coaches reinforce correct techniques and effort while mistakes may be corrected through feedback. This process helps athletes build muscle memory, improve performance, and achieve their goals. Even creativity can be influenced by conditioning. Encouragement and recognition for creative efforts reinforce innovative thinking. Over time, individuals become more confident in expressing new ideas and taking creative risks. Stress responses can be conditioned too. If certain situations are repeatedly associated with anxiety, we may start to feel stressed even before anything happens. Learning to associate relaxation techniques with stressful moments can help break this cycle and promote calmness. Memory and conditioning are closely linked. Repeated experiences strengthen neural pathways, making behaviors and responses more automatic. This is why practice and repetition are so important in learning new skills or information. Conditioning can contribute to social issues like prejudice or discrimination. Negative associations formed through repeated exposure to stereotypes can influence attitudes and behaviors. Addressing these patterns requires conscious effort and reconditioning to promote inclusivity and understanding. Our use of technology is shaped by conditioning. Notifications, rewards, and feedback loops keep us engaged with apps and devices. Understanding these mechanisms can help us use technology more mindfully and avoid negative habits. Our environment plays a significant role in conditioning. The people, places, and situations we encounter provide cues and reinforcements that shape our behaviors. Changing our environment can help us break old habits and form new, healthier ones. Personal growth often involves reconditioning our thoughts and behaviors. By identifying unhelpful patterns and introducing positive reinforcements, we can develop new skills, attitudes, and habits that support our goals and well-being. Leaders use conditioning principles to inspire and guide others. By recognizing achievements and providing constructive feedback, leaders reinforce positive behaviors and help teams reach their potential. Effective leadership relies on understanding what motivates people and how to shape group dynamics. Change can be challenging because it often requires breaking old conditioning and forming new associations. By understanding how conditioning works, we can make change easier and more sustainable, whether it's adopting a new habit or letting go of an old one. Summary: conditioning is a powerful force in human behavior, shaping everything from our habits and emotions to our relationships and achievements. By understanding the principles of classical and operant conditioning, we can better navigate our lives, make positive changes, and support others in their growth. Remember, the key to lasting change lies in recognizing the patterns that shape us and using reinforcement wisely.